What did Jalin Hyatt say at the Super Bowl, and what's in store for Tennessee baseball as the 2023 season begins today? That's the number 2 Tennessee Vols. All that and a whole lot more coming up here on your Friday, Locked On Vols.
You are Locked On Vols, your daily podcast on the Tennessee Volunteers. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
What's good, everybody? Welcome into it. This is your Friday Locked On Vols, and I'm your host, Eric Kane. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me here today, making Locked On Vols your first listen each and every day, and for watching and liking and subscribing to the channel on YouTube. Got a busy show today. Want to get this out in the open. I am traveling right now, so a little heavy doses of interviews here today, but we will get into some football content in segment number 2. Jalin Hyatt caught up with Peter Bukowski of the Locked On Packers and Locked On Sports Today here on the network from Super Bowl Row, right? Radio Row down at the Super Bowl last week. I'm going to play part of that interview coming up here and hear what Jalin Hyatt had to say. Being at the Super Bowl, he hopes to be playing in a Super Bowl, coming up in the next couple of years. And of course, he's entering the NFL draft process right now. So some good stuff there from Peter. Going to play that with Jalin Hyatt here in segment 1. Segment 2, college football hot seat and retirement watch. A couple of names to keep a track of from the Southeastern Conference. That was from ESPN.com. And then I had to sit down with Dickey earlier in the offseason. I want to play that a little bit here in segment 3, kind of in honor of opening day for Tennessee baseball. That is the show you have to look forward to today. Also, Monday's show, I'm not going to lie, very much up in the air because I will be traveling. I will be homeless on Sunday because I'm going to cover the UT baseball game out in Arizona, and I'll have checked out of my hotel, and depending on where I am, if it's an airport and or the baseball stadium, there might be a good chance I can't record an episode for Monday, just going to be completely honest with you. So if you open up your apps, you come here on YouTube, open up Apple Podcasts, whatever, and you notice there was not a show on Monday, it's because, quite frankly, I just didn't have an opportunity to record. So we'll be back on Tuesday if that's the case, but I will try my best to get you guys something for Monday. All right, let's get into it. Jalin Hyatt with Peter Bukowski of Locked On Sports Today and Locked On Packers from Radio Row at the Super Bowl last week. Give this a listen. Jalin Hyatt joins the Locked On Network.
And I was talking to some friends about this interview and what I should ask you. And I have a friend who's a big fan of yours. And so he said that one question I have to ask you is, what does it feel like to fly?
Yeah, it feels very, very good. Very good to go out there and just do what you got to do, man. So I enjoy it. Trust me.
So I watched you take apart an Alabama defense that is full of 5-star defensive backs. Do you have when you get up for and Georgia too, those games when you're going up against the elite of the elite, how does your mindset change, if at all, when you're like, okay, I know that these guys are just as big, just as fast as I am?
It brings out, a little more, especially when you're in the SEC. You're going against the best conference, best defenses, not only that, the best players. So it always brings out the extra in me. And just blessed to be a part of, our team, the Tennessee team, and blessed as far as what everything has happened, for sure.
So when you're out there, you played a lot in the slot.
Yep.
And the question that NFL teams are going to have is, can he play on the outside? Can he get off press? Yep. So just walk me through. All right, you've got a corner outside pressed up. Let's call him Kaylee Ringo.
Okay.
What is your plan at the line of scrimmage? Like, okay, I got to get by this guy.
Yeah, obviously you want to get him off the line. You got to make a move. And if I'm going left, make him go right. If I'm going right, make him go left. And only that, be quick. Be physical. Ringo's a physical guy, big corner. So you got to be physical with him. And not only that, he can't shy away from contact. And at the same time, you got to be decisive. You got to be decisive in your routes. Got to have elite ball skills. So when the ball does come, and let's say he is on you or on your back, got to make sure you can make the catch. So there's a lot of factors that play into it. But like I said, it's just the offense that we ran. I've been around. I played against press. It's not like I never seen it. I do practice and do practice releases. I do practice a lot of things. So, I'm just blessed to be in this position I'm in. But at the same time, I'm ready for the opportunities that's coming in the future. And, like I said, with press and everything, that will come. And I can't wait to play against press and just show the world what I can do.
I think the other thing is, from a slot perspective, all these teams want to play these two high coverages, quarters coverages. Okay, let's make the safeties run. Exactly. And if you run really fast, then you can make these safeties cover. I have this pet theory. I want to know what you think of this. Okay. That that slot receiver, if teams are going to live in this too high world, that slot receiver is going to become an essential part of offenses, especially a slot that can get vertical. Presumably that's part of your pitch to these teams, like, hey, I can do this.
Yeah. Just with a slot receiver, you have to utilize them. You know what I'm saying? With too high coverages, where they go mitts, they go, quarters, man, 2-man. You got to move the safeties. If you don't move the safeties, they can pack the box easier for run defenses. Your run game won't go nowhere. But at the same time, if you move your safeties with your slot, you get him in space. You make because if you have linebackers guarding them, they can't guard slots. They're too quick, too fast, too explosive. So, Hype does a great job. Coach Hype does a great job as far as what we do on offense, as far as how we match ups, and as far as how we utilize our slots and make sure the safeties can, it makes it hard for them. And at the same time, it makes it easier for our outside receivers as well. Then they get the one-on-one matchups that they want. They don't have to worry about over top safeties. So it makes everything easier. That's how we try to do it. Try to spread it. Try to make it, more of a one-on-one game, like a backyard football game. Because at the end of the day, that's really what it is. If you, football, you don't make it so hard. As far as when you go out there, just make it seem like it's more relaxed. 7-on-7 game. And if you go out there with that mindset, it makes it way more easier. So that's what we do.
It like watching you. It seems like you have fun. It seems like it'd be really fun to be that fast. Yeah. Is it as fun as it looks?
It's very fun. This game, man, is everything for me, everything to me, and it's just fun just going out there and just competing against the best. I think that's what we all want to do as far as the league competitors, and I want to go against the best. Sometimes, you're going to win, sometimes you're going to lose, and that's the best thing about it, though. Even if I lose a rep, even if I lose a one-on-one matchup, I learn from it, I grow from it, and next time I have the same opportunity, I'll try to take, advantage of it. So there's a lot of things to this game that I love about it, even win, lose, or draw, and just to take the information from it, and the seeing in the film room what I can do better, and a lot of things that growth that I have to do that I know I can do, and man, I'm just blessed for the opportunity.
So it sounds like you embrace the work.
Oh yeah, I love the work. That's why I'm here today. Sophomore year had like 200 yards, 2 TDs. Nobody knew my name, and vacation, everybody went home, and I stayed in Knoxville. I stayed putting in work, stayed on the field, stayed grinding, because I knew this is, I have more in me. I have more for me, and I know God had blessed me with a lot of things for me as far as speed and as far as everything, and I'm just glad to utilize it on the field and just become the best player I can be.
Are you going to run at the combine? Is that your goal?
Yes, sir.
What are we? Is there going to be a 2 in that second digit? Like what are we looking at here?
Yeah, man, we're trying to go for a 4.29. 4.29 for sure. That's the number we want. 4.29.
All right, the last thing that I want to talk to you about, and this is just like one of those beautiful things. Name, image, and likeness has changed college football in a lot of ways. Jalin Hyatt, okay, we got an easy one. This is a layup.
Yeah, this is easy.
But you produced, and so you locked it down. Tell me about what you're doing with Hyatt.
Yeah, word of Hyatt. We have a great partnership now. Took the whole season to do it, and with them, they, it took a little longer because they just want to know the person I am. Am I good on social media? Is he a bad person? Is he a good person? Does he care about people? A lot of background checks, and that's what I really respect about them. And not only that, what they have done for my teammates' families, as far as at the hotel for bowl games, because everybody knows how difficult it is, going to a big city and trying to take your whole family to a hotel just for, a week or something. It's expensive. It's expensive, very expensive. And how they helped us and helped my teammates' families, and it's just amazing. And we all had a great time up there, and that's something that I'll never forget, and hopefully we can keep going with this partnership a long time.
I have to ask you this because I also cover the Packers, and so, Aaron Rodgers, historic franchise. Like, what would that opportunity be like if they were the ones that called your name?
Green Bay is historic. That's a place that Lambeau Field that I want to play in. It's a place that I probably will play in one day. And just with Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't want to play with Aaron Rodgers? Guy is consistent, guy is accurate, and at the same time, they have young receivers there now that I know I can learn from, that I know I can grow from, and not only that, it's just a great place to be, and a lot of Green Bay Packers that I know, fans, and It's a place where it's historic, and that's one of the places I want to be at for sure.
A lot of Bulldogs on that team too. You and Christian Watson, you guys might be the fastest. If you two on the field together, like that's like Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hey, that's what we want to do. If they ever took the chance on me and wanted me to be there, man, they're gonna get my all. They're gonna get a hard worker. They're gonna get a perfectionist, and that's what I want to do. And I want to contribute to the team as fast as possible. So that's the type of player they're getting for sure.
Good luck, Jalin. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Awesome stuff there from former Tennessee wide receiver Jalin Hyatt. Looking forward to him ball out in the NFL Combine. That should be coming up here in the next few weeks. All right, when we return, I want to get into college football retirement watch and hot seat watch for the 2023 season. That's coming up next right here on Locked On Vols. But hey, we're midway through the NBA season, and there's no better time. It's the perfect time, in fact, to download the FanDuel app right now. It's America's #1 sports book, because new customers get a no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 by using the FanDuel Sportsbook app. That's bonus bets back if your first bet doesn't win. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app. It's safe, secure, and super easy to use. Then you can bet on everything from the money line to point spreads to three-point drains, total props, all that good stuff. That is at FanDuel Sportsbook. Listen, I had a great time last weekend betting on the Super Bowl by opening up my FanDuel Sportsbook app. I had a couple different parlays I was involved with. I took Chiefs money line, which seemed like easy money to me, right? And I did some prop bets. I had a blast doing that over at FanDuel Sportsbook, and I'm enjoying getting used to this new book and this new company, and of course I'm loving it. And they're a proud sponsor of the Locked On Podcast Network, so I encourage you to give it a try if sports gambling is legal in your state. Don't miss a chance to get your no-sweat first bet up to $1,000 in bonus bets when you go to FanDuel.com/lockedon. That is FanDuel.com/lockedon to learn more. Make every moment more with FanDuel, the official sports betting partner of the NBA. All right, guys, welcome back into your Friday show. This is Locked On Vols. It is a part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Hey, cue of the day. Forgot to get this out here in segment one. How many games will Tennessee football win in 2023? Yes, it's a simple question, but hey, we go on here. I'm going to have a cue of the day every day, and so sometimes they're going to be simple. How many games do you think Tennessee football is going to win next fall? Those totals are out there. You might have already placed some futures out there at FanDuel Sportsbook, but tell me this right now. How many games will Tennessee football win in 2023? On that subject, we'll talk a little football, college football. ESPN put out a couple of days ago its hot seat watch and retirement watch for the Power 5 conferences. It actually talks a little group of 5 as well, but I'm going to scroll down here to the SEC, and they have sections as hot seat, keep an eye on, and then possible retirement. So I thought it was interesting when looking at the SEC, and I completely agree with this, the hot seat has nobody there, right? Because everybody is essentially a new coach, right? There's been so many new coaching hires across the SEC in the last couple of years. Look at the SEC West, for instance. LSU, brand new coach, they're good. Ole Miss, still new with Lane Kiffin, and they're good. Obviously, just gave him a big-time raise. Saban, we'll get to him in a moment with Alabama, is good. Auburn, brand new coach. Mississippi State, brand new coach. For the most part, the SEC West is Arkansas is still with Sam Pittman, and they seem to be very happy in that regard as well. So the SEC West is solid. Let's look at the East, right? Florida, new coach. Missouri just gave Eli Drinkwitz a raise. Tennessee just gave Josh Heupel a raise. Mark Stoops has the best contract in football. Clark Lee showed improvement in season 2 at Vanderbilt, so he's in good shape. I mean, the SEC, Beamer just got a raise as well, and they're happy down there at South Carolina. I mean, everybody's in a pretty good position here. I notably left out one person in the SEC West, and if we're going to keep an eye on somebody, the first one that ESPN lists here is Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher has a ginormous buyout, right? And he had such a great recruiting class last cycle, only to finish 5-7. The reputation of A&M, writes ESPN, is sports' ultimate spin big, win little program, and that's played out during Fisher's tenure in College Station. He has just one season with fewer than 4 losses. That's horrific. His buyout drops from $86 million, though, late last fall to $76.8 million this year. Still a huge number. But here's my thing. Like, if you're going to wait for it to drop to 50-something, just might as well pay that 76.8 if you want to get rid of him right now. Because what's the difference in 76.8 million and 56 million, right? 20 million, sure. But, I mean, God, it's up there, right? So if you want to get rid of Jimbo Fisher, get rid of Jimbo Fisher. I'll talk about Mark Stoops having the best contract in football, but Jimbo Fisher's got the best contract in football as well. So keep an eye on Jimbo Fisher. It's underwhelming, but that buyout is so ginormous that I don't see him going anywhere. Keep an eye on another name here, Eli Drinkwitz. It's interesting because, again, he just got a raise to over $6 million. In early November, Drinkwitz received a small contract extension through 2027, a decision that surprised some around the industry. He went on to finish 6-7, his second straight losing season, bringing his overall Missouri record to 17-19. Drinkwitz has good relationships around the university, but he wasn't hired by athletic director, whatever his name is. A non-bowl season plus continued struggles on offense, Missouri is 81st in scoring under Drinkwitz's tenure, would create real tension around his status. The buyout doesn't even change significantly with his amended contract. That's what ESPN said about Eli Drinkwitz. That's the biggest bugaboo. I have no clue why he got a contract extension. I just don't get it. He's not a good coach. He's annoying. He tries to be the jokester. He tries to keep Missouri relevant. He's annoying as hell, to be completely honest. And he got a contract extension that pays him over $6 million. And Josh Heupel said, thank you. Shane Beamer said, thank you. Mark Stoops says, thank you. Lane Kiffin said, thank you. I mean, what are you doing, Missouri? It's like you're trying to be incompetent. I mean, good Lord. Like, how stupid can you be? But hey, that's your bed. Got to lie in it now. So it's not like you're going to get rid of him, but keep an eye on him a little bit. The last one's Billy Napier, and I'm a little intrigued by this because Billy Napier obviously just finished his first season in Gainesville. I think Billy Napier is a decent coach, but here's the thing, and I've pissed some Tennessee fans off by saying this, but there's truth in it, guys. Billy Napier should always out-recruit Tennessee. Always. If you don't, that's bad for him. Because Florida is a hotbed for recruits. You have the resources. You're in Gainesville. Look at your state. How on earth can you not out-recruit the other Florida schools, number one, but some other schools around the SEC? I get Georgia right now. I get LSU to an extent, and I get Alabama, obviously. But if you're Florida and you're losing recruiting battles to Tennessee, you're in trouble. And that's not to put anything against Tennessee. I think Josh Heupel's doing a great job in recruiting, but he's got that working himself. He's got that working against him. And all Tennessee head coaches have. Whoever's the head coach at the University of Florida should always out-recruit the majority of the SEC. Really all but maybe 2 to 3 teams every single year. And honestly, that's not acceptable. You should be leading the pack a lot of times. So I found that interesting. This is what ESPN had to say about Napier. Napier would really need things to go wrong to not reach a year 3 in Gainesville. I agree. He inherited a messy situation, but Florida continues to fall behind Georgia, winner of the past 2 national championships. The Gators' other main rival, Tennessee, is finally winning big again behind the high-flying offense that Florida fans would love. That's true. Napier is signed through 2027, and his success is tied to the athletic director of Scott Strickland, who will likely won't be able to hire a third football coach at Florida. But if the Gators struggle to reach bowl eligibility and can't find a good path forward on offense, there will be some desire for a complete reset. Napier asked for a lot when he arrived at Florida, and that came through for him. Soon, he must do the same. Yeah, I mean, I get it for the sake of keeping an eye on him. He ain't going nowhere after this year. He's not being fired or whatever. Florida needs to show improvement, but the Jaden Rashada mess as well is kind of working himself against it. So anyway, I found that interesting. All right, so hot seat, none. Keep an eye on Jimbo Fisher, Eli Drinkwitz, Billy Napier. Possible retirement, of course, would be Nick Saban. Saban turned 72 on Halloween. Although he still has great energy to compete, his protege, Georgia coach Kirby Smart, has pulled ahead. If Saban can win one more national title and beat Georgia in the process, he might be tempted to exit. Interesting. Not 1, but 2 national titles in a row for Georgia. So that statement does not ring false. I mean, that's a true statement right now. Kirby Smart has pulled ahead of Nick Saban. That is a true statement right now. So that is interesting. All right. Also, Nick Saban signed a contract extension through like 2029. That would be he would coach until he's 77. I don't know if that's gonna be possible. Just some highlights here. If we look around the rest of this, Justin Wilcox of Cal's on the hot seat in Pac-12 play. None on the hot seat in Big Ten play, but keeping an eye on Tom Allen, Pat Fitzgerald. Let's see here. Big 12, Neil Brown of West Virginia would be on the hot seat, according to this article. Keep an eye on Steve Sarkisian, Dana Holgerson. ACC, Dino Babers will be on the hot seat. Keep an eye on Jeff Hafley of Boston College. And let's see here. I guess that's it. Yeah, that's it from that stuff. But anyway, I found that interesting about hot seats and potential retirements and all that type of stuff. And that's over at ESPN.com. But I completely agree. No one's on the hot seat in the SEC right now. No one is. Simply put, you're not going to fire Jimbo because that incredible buyout. And credit to him and his agent for getting that done. I mean, good gracious, right? Man, money makes people do stupid things. The eagerness, the desperation to find that coach, to find that Nick Saban. Well, there's only one Nick Saban, right? There's only one Kirby Smart right now. Tennessee did a good job, and Danny White did a good job in finding Josh Heupel, and it's working out well right now for Knoxville. All right, when we come back, Jared Dickey of the Tennessee baseball team, had a chance to sit down with him last week or 2 weeks ago and talk with him one-on-one about the 2023 season ahead. Well, that starts tonight. We're going to listen to part of my interview from VolQuest.com with Tennessee outfielder Jared Dickey when we return right here on Locked On Vols. What's it been like this offseason, training with getting Q back? Of course, Tony Vitello, just kind of going through your normal progress. Having so much success last year, and then this offseason, just getting ready to try to duplicate a lot of what you guys did last year and then ultimately go a little further.
Yeah, for sure. So, I think last year, it really set the standard pretty high. So having Q back for the whole year, it's been awesome. We've been getting to work in the weight room. Obviously, that's something really important to all of us. We take our health very seriously and our diets very seriously as well. And obviously, training with Coach V is always going to be super intense, but he's also a guy that is going to have your back on the field and off the field, no matter what. So it's been really exciting. And yeah, like I said earlier, just seeing all the guys getting their work done and doing everything that they can, it's been pretty cool to see.
For you in particular, man, you had that foot injury to where it limited you to only 40 games last season. Come back this fall and you have a little bit of a hand injury. How healthy are you, and how excited are you just to stay consistently in that lineup this year? And how challenging was that last year for you having to watch?
Yeah, I'm really excited to finally get a full year, hopefully, knock on wood. Feeling pretty good right now. But yeah, no, it was really difficult having to sit out during that year, just simply because it was so much fun being on the field with those guys. I think every single guy in the dugout and on the field had each other's backs and loved each other and wanted the best for one another. So just being on the bench and seeing all the guys succeed, it was really awesome. But obviously I wanted to be out there. So hopefully this year we can stay out there the whole year and just continue to contribute for the team.
Jared, for you, you're kind of a Swiss Army knife, right? You can catch a little bit, play some outfield, you can DH, you can pretty much do, whatever Tony and his staff ask you to do. How much fun is that? How much pride do you take in being able to do whatever they ask you to do?
Yeah, no, it's something I take a lot of pride in, just because, it was a lot of hard work being able to master like all those positions. Obviously the catching thing, I started doing it when Evan started doing it last year. So getting to work with him and getting those extra reps. And this year, having Charlie and Cal and Ryan, just working with those guys, it's been really fun. I think the catching room is a lot better than what people are going to expect.
And then what about the outfield? That's more home for you than anything else, I guess. Adapting, playing the corner outfield spots, and of course center field as well. What are the challenges there for you, and what's a strength that you can bring to that group of the field?
Yeah, I think the challenges that it brings are just simply because I was catching for so long and not really as conditioned to be in the outfield. So just being out there the past few weeks, it's kind of been a little toll. But nothing I can't handle, obviously. And I think, something that I bring to the table in the outfield is just I get super good reads on the ball. My depth perception is very, very good. So just being able to see the ball off the bat and, run to the spot.
Jared, you're a guy that's notorious for being an aggressive hitter at the plate. A lot of times you're swinging at the first pitch. Has that always been kind of your style? Have you always been super aggressive out there? Is that just sometimes you just see the pitch you want and it's the first one?
Yeah, no, it's actually it's not something that I'm used to. because in high school, I batted towards the middle of the order, usually around the 4-3. And I would always be getting first pitch off speed. So like I'm always hunting the heater and adjusting the off speed pitches. But, being a leadoff and, just never know where I'm going to be this year. But I have a feeling that I'm going to be I know I'm just going to be getting a lot of off-speed pitches this year, just simply because how aggressive I was on the fastball first pitches last year. But yeah, it's something I take a lot of pride in. It's just being aggressive in the counts.
Jared, you're a guy that can also lead off if asked to, hit at the top of the order. What do you like about that? What do you dislike about that? And could we potentially see you doing that at points in time this year, maybe depending on matchups?
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's something that we could see, just depending on what Coach V think is best. Just simply because we've got so many guys with so much potential on the team. But it's something that I really take pride in. It's something that I like a lot. It's kind of like you're the energy setter for the team. Like if you come up, swing at the first pitch and hit a double or hit a single, I mean, you're on base and everybody's kind of fired up and everybody behind you is wanting to get you in. So it kind of sets the tone for the day, depending on your first at bat and whenever you come up next.
Jared, you kind of mentioned that about how the lineup's so deep and there's so much talent there. But I mean, you kind of look around the horn here. You're replacing a first baseman, a second baseman, a shortstop, a third baseman, a catcher, and 2 outfielders. So you're replacing an awful lot. But again, to your point, you bring back so much, and now regular everyday playing for Burke and for Moore, and you get Ahuna, you get Denton in here, you get Merritt in here. You had progressions of guys like like yourself, of course, like Charlie Taylor and some others. How excited is this bunch? And do you think, I mean, that's a silly question. I know you're going to say yes, but how is this bunch capable of trying to replace all that production loss from the lineup, I guess?
Yeah, no, I mean, I think we're going to have a really talented squad, obviously. There towards the beginning of the fall and towards the middle of the fall, we were just trying to get to know each other and how we meshed with each other on the field and off the field. So I think that was the biggest part that we really had to overcome, per se, is just getting to know each other. But I think at the point we're at, we're doing pretty good with it, and just adapting to how each of us plays. It's just a completely different thing from last year, obviously replacing all those guys. But yeah, I'm really excited for it.
Not every baseball team in America has the luxury of having All-Americans each as their weekend starters. Chase Dollander, Chase Burns, Drew Beam, and that entire pitching staff. It's so deep, and there's a lot of arms in that bullpen. A lot of new faces like Andrew Lindsay you're going to see in the back end as well. But when you look at that starting staff, those 3 guys in particular, how much easier is it for you guys just to go out and play? Because typically they're going to be throwing up some really, really good numbers, keeping games close throughout. And then does it kind of free you guys up, just allow you to go and be patient and just kind of play your game?
Yeah, no, it really does. And like you said, it's very rare that you see all 3 of your weekend starters having the All-American nod. So that's been pretty special to see. But yeah, just going out there and having their backs, like they know that they can throw any pitch at any time. And even if they do, get hit on a little bit, we're going to be there behind them to make the plays. So it's really special for them knowing that they have that behind them and them just doing their thing. But at the plate, I mean, it's a completely different game whenever you have guys like that, because you can just play your game and have your own approach. You don't really have to feel pressured at any moment in the game, just because you know that your guys on the mound are going to do their job, and the guys in the lineup are also going to do their job because there's not pressure behind them.
Was there ever a moment last year when all those 3 guys were kind of humming, maybe midway through the season or whatever, that you just kind of sat back, you're like, man, this is pretty special?
Yeah, I think it really wasn't even halfway through the season. I think the moment that I realized that Burns was here, I'll just give you all 3 of them. The moment that I realized Burns was going to be a dude is whenever we were playing Texas in Minute Maid. That was probably one of the craziest performances I've ever seen by a freshman on the mound, going against the number 1 team at the time. So that was really impressive. That's when I knew that that guy was going to be good for us. And then Doe against Ole Miss. I mean, I think he didn't allow a hit for 5 innings, and then he gave up a double. But it's really impressive to see that. And then, to be honest with you, Beam was just consistent the whole year. So yeah, it's really special playing behind those guys and seeing what all they've done. So it's pretty cool.
All right, a couple of rapid fire questions here, but before we say goodbye, who is your best friend on the team?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Griffin Merritt on that one. Used to be Ben Joyce, but as we know, he's moved on to bigger and better things.
Griffin Merritt's only been here a couple of months as well, right?
Oh yeah, he has, but he's my roommate, so we get to interact with each other a lot. And just like seeing how he plays very similar to me, so it's cool to see.
Who is the funniest guy on the team?
That's a tough one because I mean you got Hunter Ensley and Blake Burke. They're their own type of funny, and then there's Aaron Combs that is just a completely different kind of funny. So it's a tough one between those three.
Is one of those guys maybe like super sneaky funny, like you wouldn't think that they're funny, but what they say is actually hilarious?
Yeah, it's Aaron Combs for sure.
Who is the biggest prankster on the team?
That's a tough one because honestly, there's so many of them. I think Griffin probably. He's sneaky with what he does. He's really sneaky. So.
All right, and then who is the strongest on the team? You would say.
Oh gosh, that's a tough question. Because there's a lot of guys that can lift a lot of weight. Colby Backus is a sleeper. I mean, I looked over the other day and he was like split squatting 405 or something. And I was like, geez, dude. So I'm going to say him.
All right, good stuff there from Tennessee outfielder Jared Dickey. The Volunteers open up tonight, 8 o'clock Eastern time against Arizona to begin the MLB Desert Invitational. If you guys want to follow Tennessee baseball, check out my work over at volquest.com. Give me a follow on Twitter @_Caner. I'll be out there covering all that good stuff, and you will not be left behind. The best and most awesome coverage of Tennessee baseball is going to be at volquest.com with your boy leading that. All right, that's going to do it here for today. A loaded show. Had fun talking about potential hot seats and retirements for college football. Hearing from Jalin Hyatt on Radio Row, the Super Bowl 57. That was from Peter Bukowski of Locked On Sports Today, and of course Locked On Packers. That was in segment number 1, and then it was good to relive some of that conversation with Jared Dickey in segment number 3. Reminder, guys, I am going to be traveling this weekend. I'm going to try my best to find somewhere to do the show, but it might not work out. If it doesn't work out, we'll be back stronger than ever on Tuesday, as always. But just so you know, you get on this channel on YouTube, on your phones, on your app, listening apps, and you don't see anything for Monday, that might be because I simply just didn't have a place to record because I'm on the road. So I want to keep that in mind. Hey, guys, have fun. Tennessee basketball plays tomorrow against Kentucky. Let's see if Tennessee can get that win and kind of avenge that earlier season loss. And, have a great weekend. We'll do it again, hopefully on Monday, if not Tuesday. As always, thank you so much for taking the time and watching and listening to us here on Locked On Vols. It means more to me than you will ever know. Guys, appreciate it. Have a great weekend, and we'll do it again next week. This is Locked On Vols.